you've heard from many, many different talks already a little bit about ARIA. ARIA, similar to us, I guess, loves to do things in collaboration with other organizations. I'm such a big fan of your org. I think since you've existed, I've become a much more optimistic about, I guess, extended Europe and the science and AI infrastructure in there. And you go in your mission to advance science and technology, you go like beyond the UK only. So you really have this like pretty global approach, and the way that you've been kind of like stomping out new program areas and funding and supporting people in those areas is absolutely breaknecking, neck breaking in a very good way.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
It's a good thing. And so, Ilan, while you're gradually transitioning out, is that correct? Or have you already transitioned out?
No, I've got till February.
Oh, to February. Okay. And is also starting a new fantastic AI for Science program inside of ARIA. So you guys will be interviewing each other. Take it away.
Okay, perfect. First of all, I think we all need to thank Allison and the Foresight team, because bringing people together like this, it's like an organization like that ends up being the catalyst that creates enormous value for everyone else around them, and generally, doesn't try and capture that value. And it is just a gift to all of us. So thank you. My name is Ilan. I'm the CEO of ARIA. ARIA, you can basically think of as a breakthrough R&D funding agency for human progress. Based in the UK, the actual mandate from UK Parliament, they set aside initially £1 billion. They've now re-upped for another £1.5 billion over the next 4 years. The mission is do what you would think of as high risk, high reward research, but basically activate the R&D talent pools and research infrastructures of the UK and beyond to catalyze science and technology breakthroughs that can be transformative at the intersection of quality of life and economic growth. And the goal, obviously, it's UK taxpayer funded. The goal is to have it be transformative for the future of the UK, but the level of ambition is big enough where in order to do that, we feel like we have to have a global view and a global reach. And so we think about our focus areas as what is the single thing that you as a person at ARIA can do to catalyze a step change in the trajectory of human progress globally. And we do fund a fair amount of research outside the UK, although always with an eye towards how is this going to be transformative for the UK and beyond. So that's just a little primer about ARIA. I have the pleasure to be here. So I'm the CEO. I'm a material scientist turned entrepreneur by training. Had a chance to go to the UK to help set up ARIA about 3.5 years ago. It was a term-limited job. As soon as the government committed to 4 more years of funding, we realized this is a perfect time to find the next CEO so they can have the runway to shape the next chapter. So we have an incredible leader, Kathleen Fisher, who actually most recently was at DARPA, coming in to lead the agency starting in February. I have on stage with me Ant Rowstron. ARIA started with me. We recruited a handful of technical program directors. We had a very small team. Then we recruited a second cohort, 16 program directors, and we said, we really need someone, we just need more capacity of someone who has a ton of experience building breakthroughs in science and technology, but who isn't just focused on one narrow program. And so we called it a CTO, and we recruited Ant to be our CTO. You've been in the agency for how long?
About 6 months.
Okay, yeah. About 6 months.
About 6 months.
And my goal for this talk is actually to get everyone to, Ant is just an incredibly special individual, so I want everyone to get a sense of Ant and what he's doing, and he's doing a number of things, and will be doing a number of things at ARIA that I think are really consequential to the Foresight community. You want to give like a quick intro?
Sure. So before ARIA, I'd actually been at Microsoft Research for 26 years, and I was very happy there. And I got to a sort of stage, though, I thought, wouldn't it be really exciting to actually have some more challenges and to do something different? I think also I thought it'd be really nice to actually do something to help the UK. And I'd had this incredible pleasure of meeting many of the program directors. So I ran this labs in Cambridge, and I think 4 of the program directors had come through the labs to see things we were doing which were going to be relevant to programs that they were thinking about doing. And each time I met them, I just thought, what an amazing bunch of people. And they have such drive, and they've got so much ambition to achieve things. They set up these programs, and I just thought this must be an amazing organization. And then I saw the opportunity to apply for the CTO role, and so I thought it was amazing to move over. It's been a really exciting 6 months. I think one of the things that's amazing about ARIA is just the breadth of what is done. And I think, I thought I was quite broad before I went in. I was a computer scientist, but I'd also dabbled in physics. I dabbled in other fields as well.
Wait, tell us about the lab you led at Microsoft. So just a minute here. Had you told me that the CTO we're going to hire into ARIA would have beforehand spent 26 years at any company, let alone a big company like Microsoft, I would have said, like, no way, that's not the person we're hiring. Yet it's been such a great fit. But you had a very weird job. First of all, you were one of sort of the co-founders of Microsoft Research Cambridge.
Well, I was one of the really early people. So it had been, we were
and shaping it, sort of co-director by that time.
Yes.
And then you ran this lab, which is pretty wacky, right, for that.
Yes, so
world.
so everyone thinks of Microsoft probably as mainly as a software company, and about would have been about 15 years ago. I started to create a team to actually build out a lot more hardware. So at the time, the cloud was just taking off, and it was really clear that we needed to co-design software and the hardware that we were going to use in the cloud. And Microsoft at the time just didn't build hardware. So we started off by starting to build out some sort of fairly basic hardware. And then by the end, we'd actually decided to sort of move all the way down the stack. So the team's there looking at new materials, new components, and new devices that we could use in our cloud. We were doing things like storing data in glass for archival storage that would last 1,000 years. We were creating new networking technologies around using micro LEDs rather than lasers, which turns out for all sorts of reasons to be really transformative for how you actually think about building AI clusters. We built the world's largest analog optical computer because we thought that digital was not going to be the way forwards. So we built a sort of a true analog computer that was a sort of data flow architecture, which has been able to demonstrate incredible performance gains over traditional silicon. So this was the sort of things that we did in the lab.
Okay, we're as rushed as everyone else, so I'm gonna with apologies, just like rapid fire us. So that's like a little bit of context. You come into ARIA, and basically one way we described your job was make ARIA the best place for frontier technical talent and ideas in the world. And another way we described your job very simply was like increase the expected value of the portfolio. So I'm kind of curious, like what were the biggest things that you found interesting and or surprising about the talent and culture and ideas that were swarming around ARIA? Let's start there. Talent and culture.
I mean, the people, the program directors that were at ARIA, the 16 of them are absolutely amazing. And I think what's also amazing about them is that when the program directors arrive, all of them come in with a really clear idea about what they want to do, except they then spend the next sort of 3 or 4 months just going around and discovering. And the majority of them actually pick something completely different than what they arrive in order to actually, they think they're going to do when they arrive. So it's an amazing environment. It's incredible freedom. It's an incredibly empowered environment. It's a very supportive and nurturing environment, and it encourages people to think about what are the things that they could do that would be the most impactful for the world. And it's amazing the things that they choose.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that one thing that you found strange was that level of talent, but being in a place where it was sort of in some way, in some low ego humility way, them being able to like have the really fierce idea and then like throw it away and change it, which I was really proud of when you said like that was something you noticed. Yeah. Okay, on the portfolio side, this is like a nerdy audience. We're nerds. What are like a few of the just things that have lit up your technical nerd genes?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll give one and then you give one.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Because we obviously love them all equally.
Yeah.
So I'll actually name two, and then I'll hand over to you.
Okay.
The first one that's
really,
really inspired me is the one we do on scalable neural interfaces, and it was partly about an amazing story about some of the impact that it was potentially having for people with depression. But I found that extremely an interesting space, and the program that we've had in that space feels extremely valuable. The other one, which is much closer to home for me, was around future of computing. compute for AI. And it's obviously a space that I know really well. And it was super amazing to come in and see such an exciting program. There are many, many different startups, many different universities being funded, but all really doing quite radical stuff, which I thought was really, really exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
So which are your two favorites?
Well, I mean, they're not favorites, but I'll maybe just enhance what you said.
Yeah.
I think one of the things we're seeing within ARIA is in different areas finding ways where we can rethink what it means to have a technology platform. So we have a program called Programmable Plants. And for me, the idea there is like thinking about plants as a technology platform, hardware that you can update and that is distributed at scale is just, I think, a really powerful thing. For neurotech, and we also have an area called sculpting innate immunity. I think for those, the thing that really captures me is we all know that healthcare is like effed. Certainly in the US, I don't think we're going to solve biomedicine and health, human health, and the systems we have for it by slowly changing it. I think we need like some nucleation site for something different. And the idea that with neurotech or maybe innate immunity, you could have like a different technology insertion point for human health. I mean, all the things that Juan, and Sean put up on the slide, you can get disorders and enhancements, but potentially you catalyze like a reframing of how we handle health. And I think that's really powerful. How much time do we have? 1 minute. We were supposed to talk about AI for science. Let's do this. So when you came in, we said, okay, you have a chance to be thinking across the portfolio and beyond.
Yep.
And we decided what's one of the biggest things that's underserved at ARIA. We were started 3.5 years ago. We couldn't have been an AI native frontier organization because it just wasn't the right time for it. Is someone to think about this question of how does ARIA co-evolve with AI over the next few years? And you've done two things to learn. One is start building some tools within ARIA with a small team, but the other is you put out this call to say, let's learn by finding the frontier. I think we had over 245 submissions for us to fund an AI scientist.
Yep.
Like, what did you learn? This will be my last question. Like, what have you learned from that journey? And what do you think it means for the future of AI science? And then other people should grab Ant to talk about AI science after.
Yeah, so we asked people to come up and apply for a 9-month program. They must already have an AI scientist, and so the AI scientist must be able to hypothesize, must be able to ideate, hypothesize, design experiments. We took a very pure notion, so we said actually it must be able to use labs or at least control the experiments to be run in labs. It must be able to interpret the data and then ideally loop it back around again and incorporate it into the hypothesis or the thinking. It's really fascinating. 245 people applied, organizations applied. About 120 of them were really serious applications, people who had working systems. I think there were a lot that you would expect. There was a lot that you wouldn't expect. I think it's super interesting. A lot of people are really trying to integrate labs into their processes. They are clearly able to do a lot more adventurous things than people who have to rely on sending things out to external labs or CROs in order to get things done. I feel we also asked everyone to think of two problems, one which they could solve and one which they thought they couldn't solve. So it's a kind of interesting thing. So we're sort of probing both sides of the space. How advanced are things when you want to do something safe? And if you really want to push it, what might it look like? And I think it's going to be really exciting. We're going to see what a lot of this looks like. I think there's a lot of hype out there, but at the same time, I think this built upon a lot of hope and a lot of concrete ideas and technology. So I'm really hoping to see over the next 9 months what we're actually able to achieve and which AI scientists and really understand what the boundaries are and how we can help accelerate.
So my offering to the community from here is, I actually think from his discovery work in these applications, Ant probably has, because ARIA is sort of a trusted intermediary, probably has a better sense of what's happening at the frontier of AI science, or at least a broader one than just about anyone in the world. So if you're working in that space, come find Ant. If you want to try and learn a little bit about what he's learning. But otherwise, ARIA is set to probably commit somewhere on the order of $500 million across a number of areas over the next year or so. Ant knows about all those programs, and he can link you, and I do too, so come talk to me as well. And then we probably will be doing something bigger in AI for science. So we're really interested in what is the catalytic world-changing thing, and how can we tie that to what we're doing in the UK. Oh, wow. We're the first ones who got cut. Amazing. I'll take that as a win.
Thank you.
Thank you.